Hey there, how you doing, Blue? Place got trashed because of that storm, way worse than they expected. I'm up in Athens, which I didn't really want to come up here, but it's the only place where it's like normal. Augustus totally shut down, can't get gas anywhere. Hundreds of cars out of gas on the side of the road because there's so long of a distance between where stations are opened. Sheriffs and state police are kind of marshaling fuel down around where I live. But a ton of wind damage, guardrails, trees down all over, signs everywhere. It's a mess. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, none of that was predicted. Maybe some rain. I mean, I videotape weather, and it wasn't anything out of the ordinary. I didn't videotape anything. It was no big deal. Internet's down most place, cell phones out. That whole corridor down along I-20 is dead. I mean, you talk to somebody in Augusta, they can tell you it's a mess. They're saying now it might be 10 days before power's restored. Just people screwed. These electric car people are screwed too. For some reason, the charging stations around where I lived, they're not free charging stations and they're not accepting payment, which is weird because the gas stations, credit card systems are working, so I don't really get it. Yeah, are you talking about Perry, Florida? Was that wiped out? See, the difference in this hurricane was it didn't hit exactly where they thought it was going to hit. And the reason that there isn't more damage is because it were a hit. If you were going to pick a place for it to come on shore, it couldn't have been better. Yeah, but that's not why they're having problems. They're having problems because they can't charge the batteries anywhere. I don't know if that's true about electric vehicles either, because I've seen them in photos, just hundreds of them in floods, just sitting there, and they don't look like they caught on fire. Hey, waiting. How you doing? I was gonna get a Chinese buffet today. Believe it or not, it sounded good. You can't get any food down there. The power's out. It's surprising to me that so many businesses you would think would have generators and they don't. No, my house didn't get too much damage. Blew down some things. One big branch. I'll tow it out of the way later. I would have done it already, but the grass is still soft. And it wiped out a lot of the road. All the bridges were heavy water coming over the top. It's the hurricane part they did a good job on that. But it's all guessing. It changes. It's not like somebody's out there is incompetent. It's just it's a difficult storm to forecast. I mean, minus a crystal ball. But they never expected these winds would be this strong this far north. I was talking to a guy from Georgia Power, and he said he's never seen this kind of damage before. Oh, Steinhatchee. Yeah, it's got to be down around Perry somewhere there. I've been through there, I'm sure. I was probably around there last week. Although maybe not, because that was a little far east rather than this last trip. Now, Panama City is 152 miles west, which is a big difference. They didn't get anything. That area that I was in was like nothing. And that's where they were really worried about. And then slowly the forecast moved further east and then ended up even hitting east to where they thought it was going to hit a little bit. And luckily east of Tallahassee. That's why I followed the winds as it reached shore, and the highest I could find was a 101, which is no picnic, but it isn't like Category 4 winds. Hey, Drifter. Well, I mean, it was so weird. I mean, the power was out. I was just kind of laying in bed. I've been feeling too good after that heat stroke thing, and I didn't really give a shit what was going on. And it doesn't take much for me to video something And it just wasn't, it was weird. It wasn't like, when you hear a big storm, it's like making you look out and the trees are bent. And you're thinking, ah, shit, man, I wonder how many trees are going to come over. It wasn't like that. It almost sounded like a medium pulsating wind. It didn't sound like big gusts. It's weird. Now I had some of my cameras setting out in my chair on my front deck, which sits way back. And there was so much crap in the air, it like blew dust all in the cracks and crevices, all of them, even though they didn't get wet. It was particles flying through the air. And if you went outside, even though you wouldn't get soaked by raindrops most of the time, it was so wet out, you would be wet after like 5 minutes. Everything's really damp, humidity's through the roof. But it kind of snuck up on everybody. But if you look at the guardrails, like from Crawfordville, where I lived, to Augusta, which is like 53 miles, they're all smashed flat. Lots of signs are snapped in half. Forget about flags or advertising banners. A lot of big, like this Captain D sign, knocked over. But it's more just a lot of mess, and the power lines are just knocked over everywhere. Hey, Mary. Hey, Mary. Yeah, it's weird wind damage, though. I mean, it's not like damage you'd normally suspect from just heavy winds. It was this weird, like pulsating crowd. I'll give you an example. Like my front porch is where the wind was coming from, right? Well, on the back side of that, I've got these French doors. Well, I didn't have them latched. You know how you latched one and then you shut the other? And I had a ladder up against it too. And it actually blew those two doors open, plus knocked the ladder down, which was on the back side of where the wind was. High velocity, low pressure. It was one of those kind of things. If it's kind of the way an airplane wing flies. If you look at roofs come off homes when you have tornadoes and hurricanes, they lift off. That's because the high velocity is created on the outside. You have lower pressure on the inside, and the roof just kind of like floats off. It doesn't get blown off. And that's kind of what made those doors open. But it shows you the burst short-term velocity you had at times for that to occur. Hey, Debbie and Dave. Hey, you guys made a comment about people missing. Where? I didn't read any reports of people unaccounted for and missing anywhere. But because of where it hit, look, they had a 2-week warning for this storm. I mean, I think they did it as good as you could ask for on predicting everything. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. No, you can shut the windows, open them, doesn't mean a fucking thing. When that comes through there, you're done either way. But really, I mean, the prediction was great. I thought they did an excellent job. But I'm telling you, man, if you read about this stuff like I do, and hurricanes and how they form, where they come from, man, this is a guessing game. A big percent of the time, despite all these satellites and computer imagery and topographical number crunching and blah blah blah, they say, oh, they didn't do a very good job. Yeah, it's not the nature of the beast. It's like telling somebody how many fish you're going to catch if they went up to Canada tomorrow morning. It just doesn't work that way. You line up the ducks as good as you can and hope they go your way. And all things considered, they did a great job. Yeah, but a lot of times, I mean, you guys know how media hype is, and I'm not saying that there isn't damage, but they know what makes newspapers sell and what's left of them, and sensational TV shows. And if you went out and you were 80 years old and you stepped in a puddle and fell down and died, they're going to blame it on the storm, not on your fragile health and that you shouldn't have been leaving the house. The same bullshit with COVID. I mean, to me, when you say there's 10 deaths from the storm, I want to see like your head blown off, and that kind of thing. And that's not it. So I need to say how they define it. Or somebody, let's say, is a type 1 diabetic and can't get insulin, or you're on oxygen and there isn't any around. Okay, now we're talking. That's directly related because of the storm. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better though. Feeling better though, tell you that. Goddamn shit damn near. Yeah, 61. I mean, that's nothing compared to a Category 4 storm. And that's because of great forecasting, preparedness, and watching the news. Did a great job. I mean, when you consider that, I mean, hurricanes aren't like these damn tornadoes that go by and wipe out and kill 200 people within 2 minutes. This is all just a pain in the ass, inconvenience. Flooding gets most people. Lazy people, they don't pay attention to anything. 61 people, I mean, that's nothing compared to the mass of the storm and the swath that it had taken on its way up here. Yeah, hit by falling debris, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've been through a few of them. It's more of a pain in the ass, anything. It was just like at my house, you know. I didn't even, honestly, I didn't even think to myself one time, oh, this is like, you know, we were supposed to get a bunch of rain. They were threatening everybody with 20 inches of rain. We get a ton of rain. I know I got at least 5 inches because it filled my rain gauge. And I don't want to pull stuff out of the air when I don't know. I don't know how much rain we got, but a lot. And almost washed the road out. That's the reasons for a lot of these trees falling over. Is it gets so wet, and then you get a strong wind. They just kind of like healthy trees falling off over because the ground's so soggy. And another thing they do up here, which you know, what the hell do I know, right? But they take these 3-inch, 3/8-inch braided steel cable, and they string them between the power lines, presumably for support. But I noticed a lot of places up like north of me that trees would hit those lines in between the poles and bring down the whole shebang. And if they'd have just left the poles alone and not have them attached with these 3/8-inch steel cables, there'd have been a lot more poles up. But what do I know? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Now on this one, I mean, I get down around that area quite a bit. It's more like it's kind of like a lot of poverty. And if you look at that, there are actually books written on there. I sent you a link to it not too long ago, Mary. If you look up in that northwest section, Panhandle corner, like up around the Florida Georgia line, a lot of poverty through there, a lot of blight, poor people. You know, that's really that's that whole area, like from Tallahassee as you head west over to Panama City and Panama City Beach. From there all the way to like southeast of Tallahassee along the water, it's marshy. It's really not developed that much, and that's basically because it's just part of the watershed of a huge drainage system. It's really not buildable. That's why it's not wall-to-wall condos like everywhere else is in Florida. They would if they could. Like, did you see pictures of houses floating away related to this storm? I'm gonna get Chinese buffet day. Chinese buffet. And if you look at that whole, like, you know, South Carolina refer to the low country. It's all part of a huge watershed. But that whole area, if you look at topography maps, that whole area, like, you know, Louisiana, Tallahassee, Panama City, it's all like low, marshy, wetland, brackish areas. Yeah, probably true. Oh, really? Where at in Florida? Where at in Florida? Because I talked to uh, see Rita got lucky this time. It's about 135 miles west of her in a northbound track. And I'm still not sure how much Atlanta got it, but it's just I got to read up on this actually because it's interesting to me how anything without that warm water could be this strong that far north. I mean, this fucked up stuff 400 miles north of where it hit land, that's impressive. And I don't really even know, honestly, how far north the damage goes, how far west it goes. But I know like a big city like Augusta is shut down. The internet, you can't upload. Well, this is the first time I've had a live be able to work in quite a while. My phone's about ready to, it's okay right now, but my battery's dead and not working in my phone. I bought a couple chargers, a couple new cords, just because I didn't want to go through that bullshit. But this phone, I don't even know if it's 2 years old. It just doesn't hold a charge, and it doesn't really take a charge like it should. And I didn't clean out the porch yet, which I'm gonna, but I got an idea. It's just the battery. And I've always had the battery on a limiter where it only charges to 80%. But that's part of my problem, I think. Yeah, she got lucky. Yeah, I was down there for Hurricane Andrew right after it hit. I had just moved down there. Hey, just John. She did say she got a little water in her yard, but that was about it. That's nothing. Who knows how long our power is going to be out. I mean, I don't want to pull facts out of my ass. I can just tell you what I've heard. Normally you can go on, you'll get a text, expect your power to be on. None of that shit this time. I read one thing, there were 4 million people out without power in Georgia. I don't know where or what. I mean, you can tell if you live around where I live, you better not be planning on the power coming on anytime soon. There's just shit down everywhere, just trees everywhere. I mean, I could drive around. I could drive around within 5 minutes of my house and show you 10 miles of power lines down. So, I mean, that's just my area. And you can't tell me there isn't some method to the madness of where they decide to restore power first. Are you going to go by population? Yeah, probably. The amount of people there, the amount of businesses. So I got an idea Crawfordville is not a high priority, so God knows when the power's going to go back on. No, we don't have a generator. He's in Hilton Head with Daisy. No, we don't. Generators are a pain in the fucking ass. Unless you want to spend a ton of money, you may be able to run your fucking vibrator off one or keep a mini fridge going. It's like, fuck it. If I'm going to be that fucked, I'll just take misery at 100% tilt and wait till they turn it on. Now, if I was down here and, I was banging a couple blue-eyed, blonde-haired Scandinavian models and they were heat sensitive, I'd probably have one. But at this stage of the game, I'm ready to John Wayne it right out the storm. And usually it's like a day, maybe 8 hours of power out. Who the fuck wants to spend 40 grand on a good generator? It's like buying new tires. Would you rather go out and eat good sushi for a month or buy some fucking rubber for your wheels? It's just hard to pull the trigger on a generator that does what you'd like it to do. Yeah. Yeah, we don't have natural gas down here. You could probably get a propane one or but I'm sure most of them are diesel. I don't even know that for sure. I don't know anybody that have them. I mean, they're crazy expensive. You mean to really, if you want to run your house like you did when the power was on, yeah, that shit's expensive. Yeah, I don't want to fuck. It's not that big a fucking deal. Yeah, it's not worth it. I mean, how often do you go out of power a year? You're going to go drop 15 grand on something that you're going to use 3 times a year? It's like, uh, 5 grand every time you use it. It's nuts. Yeah, I'm gonna fuck this buffet up, man. I'm gonna get one of these and one of those, and some of these and some of that, and some of those and some of those. Then I'm gonna go over to that damn massage parlor, and I'm gonna get massagey. This thing must be legit though. They just shut this fucker down a million times. Although it is at a liberal college town. Massagey here. I saw the girl out there. I don't know what the fuck she was doing, cleaning the glass, watering a plant or something. But God, if she's the one's working there today, it's tempting. Massagey here. Massagey here. Yeah. No, I feel sorry for these poor fuckers. I went to Cracker Barrel yesterday. For some reason, I haven't been. My stomach's been upset. I haven't been eating much, so I thought I really felt like some pancakes. So I went there. There was this big fat fucker sitting next to me that had sciatica, and I felt bad for him. So I went and got him a thing of Penetrex. I tried to tell his dumbass that your spine's the most compressed when you were sitting down, but he kept saying how bad. I believed his back hurt, which is why I did it. But he wasn't gonna let that get in the way of a 25 calorie breakfast, 2,500 calorie breakfast at Cracker Barrel, just in case there was a long wait in the emergency room. He asked me if I thought he should go to the emergency. I said, well, how bad's it on a scale of 10? How much it bothering you? You gonna be able to put the old meat to that fat wife of yours tonight? He said, no, it hurts that bad. I said, well, you ought to go to emergency then, because they're not going to give you any opioids, which I don't think you're looking for anyway. But they will give you a shot of penicillin to reduce that inflammation and probably another muscle relaxer. I mean, there's no sense to be in pain. Yeah. You shouldn't have to be in any kind of pain. No pain, no gain. Yeah. Yeah, steroid shot. That's exactly right. Penicillin and work perfect. And they'll give you one of those, no problem. But he kept sitting down. I told him he shouldn't be sitting down. He should be standing up, probably 200 pounds overweight. Yeah, I mean, I had that fucking back problems about 4 times in my life when I was young, and it was all from fucking lifting weights. And man, I'll tell you, there's a couple times I thought, God damn, what scares you is you worry about not getting better. And I haven't had back problems. I'll have like a sore lower back once in a while, but none of that shit that I had, that sciatica when I was younger. You guys haven't been going up to Taos like you used to. Although I don't think you go up there in the summer anyway, do you, Debbie? Yeah, I was talking to somebody about that the other day. Is opioids. Yeah, Sackler, you want to give all them the death penalty. Yeah, doctors wrote him, they shouldn't, blah, blah, blah. I've explained that before. Part of it's the government's fault. Because they pitched physicians on not treating chronic pain adequately in the 90s. It did happen, for sure. And there's tons of people out there that got tons of relief from opioids that didn't turn into addicts. Right, Taos in the winter, that's what I thought. Cracker Barrel's pancakes are the best. There's nothing at Waffle House that good. Yeah, I get fucking tired of hearing this goddamn bullshit, man. That they act like, and I'll tell you too, and I'm not defending it. I don't fuck with it. I've never tried it. I'm not saying I'm a better person because I don't. We'll never get accurate data on this, but there are plenty of functioning employee of the month employees that are alcoholics. And there are actually recreational heroin users that have full time, great jobs. But, of course, it's hard to get them to talk about it. Yeah, why would you? So everything isn't like the worst possible scenario. But this pain stuff bullshit, you know, the media has figured out a long time ago you're much better running a segment on pill mills and pills being sold up and down the I-75 corridor and going out at 3 in the morning and watching the old 68 pickup truck making circles around the cheap hotel buying pain medication from quadriplegics and paraplegics to sell them to drug users. You're not talking about the motherfucker living up in Delaware with a bad back that's able to work and live a decent life because of opioids. That doesn't garner any kind of popularity or interest. No, it's not fair. No, it's not fair. But you can blame the government. And look, I want you, if you never listen to one thing I said before, research this. The government is the big part of this problem. They went to the AMA in the 90s and we're starting to not be able to get malpractice insurance. Why? Because of pain and suffering awards. All of a sudden, yeah, the guy fucked up. I mean, accidents happen in surgery, right? And the pain and suffering is like, yeah, this, that. They calculate it, get out the calculator. And it's like, yeah, and by the way, we're going to give you another 30 million for pain and suffering. It's like, fuck. Finally, the physicians, they couldn't get malpractice insurance anymore. So they went to the federal government and said, hey, we're all going to be out of fucking business. So the federal government went to the medical community, the AMA, and said, you are not treating pain effectively. And part of the impetus behind this was because of jury awards in liberal communities, like places like Detroit, Chicago, where you get an offender bender and they're given fucking $20 million worth of pain and suffering by these liberal fucking juries that don't know shit from fucking Shinola. And before you know it, it got to where the whole system was going to collapse because pain wasn't being treated and it was being compensated through the court system. So what did they come out with? Ways to remedy pain. Now they're blaming physicians for this when it's absolutely fucking false. Fucking bullshit, man. You know how many people you know how many people got cut off from legitimate pain prescriptions that got caught buying dope, trying to control their own pain by buying heroin in seedy areas in driving distance to where they live? Because your life fucking sucks if you have chronic pain. Doesn't matter if you got money, if you're good looking, nothing. It's all put in fucking limbo in neutral. Yeah. Feel bad for people with pain, chronic pain. And let me tell you, when you're treating pain effectively through opioids, yeah, a casualty of that is fucking addiction and illegal pill sales. Just the fucking way it is. Same with alcohol. You're supposed to go out and social drink, let your hair down, have fun with friends. Yeah, well, for every fucking group of people that doing that, there's 3 or 4 people that have ruined their fucking lives because they drank too much of it. I mean, it's just not a perfect fucking system. Party on. Yeah, it's just, but everybody that has chronic pain that gets a prescription doesn't turn into a dope addict is what I want to tell you. That's right. And that, or they'll do pill counts too. That's exactly right. Pill counts. It's true. They want to make sure you're not selling them. But it's the same bullshit with, you got allergies. Like, I take them once in a while. The ones with the ephedrine in them. That's the only one that's worth a fuck. The D's, decongestant. Instead of feeling half fucking dead, you can actually get out of bed and go do something. Now, when you go in there, you got to show them your driver's license just to make sure you're not buying too much of it and making meth in your garage. Like, come on, man. No big deal. If that's the only thing I have to do is show you my driver's license, I'm fine with it. Oh wow, congratulations to him. No, super fucking sad. You know what? When you get painted in the corner that bad, when you're really down and you're the motherfucker that's got chronic pain and you've already just fucking spent yourself going to pain clinics and doctors and hired fucking lawyers, and you're sitting in your home alone and you're hurting like a motherfucker, and it isn't that they don't believe you, but there's nothing you can do about it. So you decided to grab the bull by the horns and go out and handle your pain yourself, and then you really get it rammed up your ass with a criminal charge. Now you get introduced to the criminal justice system. Even though you never fucked with drugs until you had chronic pain, there's no provision for that. Fucking bullshit, man. I'm not, that's why if I say it like it is. It's just my biased subject opinion, but I'm not fucking candy coating anything. Fuck it. And you notice, like during COVID, they didn't want alcohol, booze selling facilities to shut down. Yeah, you know why? Because they realized that alcoholics, would die without alcohol. But boy, some poor son of a bitch had hurt his back that needs legitimate pain medication. Fuck, they'll send that fucker out to dry. He's on his own. Yeah, no, it just doesn't fucking work. It doesn't work. Another problem too is like this criminal justice system needs to be redone too. It's great. Back in the old days, before the world was absolutely insane, you went and you spent a year in prison or 6 months in jail and you learned your fucking lessons. Yeah, it's not like that anymore. It's not, it just doesn't work like it did. It's gotten too expensive. There's no room for these people. And I got a problem with once you pay your debt to society, your fine, your restitution, any of that shit, how many days you had to spend in the can, whatever, that shit shouldn't be on a record anywhere. You've paid your debt to society. So, effectively, if you've got a criminal record, your sentence never really goes away. These people don't get a chance to start over. It's nuts. Yeah, it's sad. But as long as you have most of the people, it's like mental health regulations and rules and funding for it. When you get most of the people that have never experienced mental health making the decisions for the people that have, it's such a small piece of pie that they're always going to be struggling to get things that they need to try to get better. Oh yeah, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. Yeah, it's crazy. I believe that. But a lot of these crazy ass people out there, they just got this fantasy of how the world should work. It's just not reality. Somebody's got to pay into the damn fun, you guys. Somebody's got to be working and give a fuck. Fucking bullshit, man. I mean, if you're like my age, you just sit around, you're like, it's just like you won the fucking Powerball. Your brain's so shocked at what you're seeing that you can't believe that you've lived long enough to see this kind of despair. I live in Georgia. Georgia. Oh yeah, I'm one of the fucking enemy. I'm a guy that actually fucking went to college even though he didn't want to, and fucking worked for 40 years. Yeah, I'm the enemy. I saved some money, so they're gonna try and get what I have now. Yeah, you're gonna let me pay for the people that didn't do any of that. Yeah, I love Mackinac City. That place is Mackinac Island's going to hell. They're fucking that up now too. 3.2 million visitors. Now they get let a couple scumbags buy the boat company that takes you back and forth between the island. That's all hedge funds and capitalists. Now that I have a problem with capitalism, but it's all investment companies now. It's not the ma and pa rub your horse on the head every morning and use maple syrup to put in your tea all winter long on Mackinac Island. That's big business. Just like the hedge funds that run these emergency helicopters. This isn't your local hospital giving two fucking shits about your health. This is hedge funds, investment companies that have an opportunity to rack a $200,000 helicopter bill off in your ass when they could have easily taken you to the hospital in a ambulance for $5,000. This is about profit. I tell them they better never pick me up in one of these fucking helicopters. And they better hope the hell I better never gain my consciousness on the way to the hospital. I know what they charge, and it's always out of network. And they say, we just wanted your safety was number one. Yeah, fuck you. There's your biggest clue right there. That's not true. Yeah, I don't know when's the last time you were back there, but it's changed. I don't even have an interest to go there anymore. Yeah, that guy's been around. That's not three generations of Jews. They got fucked. They used to be right across for the Ford entrance, and then the state moved it. I mean, they still do pretty well. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he's a good guy. There's basically an Italian family that owns most of Mackinac City that everybody hates. They're the ones that got busted for fucking people on their credit cards with room reservations. All right, Debbie and Dave. Yeah, I'm gonna go in here and attack this Chinese buffet. So you guys have a good day today. Drifter, Debbie and Dave, just chilling. Glad I was able to get on live. This thing hasn't worked before. You guys party on, okay? I'm gonna be doing more updates. Let you know what's happening. This is a bad example of the damage to Georgia. It's fine up here. You party on. Bye, Kelly.